So to any black voter who's thinking of casting your ballot for us for the first time, it might be for the first time, and probably is, it's amazing. What's happened in the last 2 years is actually amazing, and it's been based on results, real results. Just remember, you owe crooked Joe Biden absolutely nothing. You don't owe him a thing, so do not feel guilty. Please do not feel guilty. The radical Democrat Party has waged war on black families for many, many decades.
All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about the alleged exodus from the Democrat Party by black voters. Now, the reason why I say alleged is because I am one of these people that is not going to see it until I believe it, okay? Because black folks have been voting for Democrats at a 90+% clip since the civil rights era, and I have no reason to believe that that's actually really going to change. Doesn't matter what a Republican president does for black people. Like, for example, Trump has been the best president for black people, hands down, factually, statistically speaking, in a long time, okay? Democrat or Republican, black folks were doing great under Trump, and they rewarded him by only giving him about 10% of the vote, right? So, honestly, you know, all of this hype about black people leaving the Democrat plantation, I don't get too excited about it, right? But I guess it's good to speculate, right? At least before the election, because it sure seems like Democrats are worried because they lost their minds after Trump gave his speech at the Black Conservative Federation, in which he spoke with black voters, and it seems as if Trump is making some momentum in the black community, at least according to the polls. And again, every since that speech by Trump, the mainstream liberal media has been in freak-out mode about Trump potentially taking black voters away from their Lord and Savior, Joe Biden.
Let's go through some of these numbers really quickly. Joe Biden getting, in this poll of Michigan, black Michigan voters, 49% of the vote. Trump seemed high to me at 26%. Did that surprise you? And 9% for Kennedy.
It did.
And it sounds like Donald Trump was implying that he can win black voters because they get indicted all the time, too. Is that what he was saying?
Well, I think it's in part of that. It's part of it, Kristen. Look, it was a great night Friday night in Columbia, South Carolina. The president was really just enjoying himself. It was a great celebration for black conservatives across our country. But let's be very clear. Our economy is a mess. Our border is completely unsecured. These things are causes of major concerns for black voters, like it is for every voter in our country. But then when you layer on the fact that, yes, this is political persecution from the Department of Justice and from radical DAs throughout our country, this is something similar that black people had to deal with the justice system themselves. And so their look of it is real simple. Well, dang, if the government's going after him with foolishness, he can't be that bad, especially considering the fact that Joe Biden is terrible at his job.
Congressman, let's just be clear. All 4 indictments against former President Trump were brought by grand juries. There is no evidence that the indictments are political in nature. But
the comments that Trump made last night at the Black Conservative Federation gala, what did you make of it? And of Trump's attempts to gain more support among black voters? I don't know. Saying that, you know, because I'm a criminal, you're going to like me, it doesn't seem like a winning message.
Well, what he's saying is, and I don't think he's playing to get black votes. I think he's using blacks as a backboard to score with white voters who has this anti-black view. That's the only way you can make sense of this. To say that we are somehow agreeable or identify with people that commit crimes, that his mugshot, he had a mugshot for election interference. And we fought, marched, some died to get the right to vote. So to act as though I'm talking to people that worship criminals and you can identify with criminals, he's really talking to people that have that base opinion of us. I don't know what kind of blacks were in the room that would feel that their kids identify with somebody in a mugshot. Do we have blacks that commit crime? Yes, we have a lot of blacks that have been accused of crimes that were innocent. But he is accused of election interference. He's accused of defrauding banks. Why would he feel that blacks identify with that other than that's the stereotype that he believes?
Yeah, so what I found to be so funny about the media, and also disingenuous as well too, right, in regards to their reaction to Trump's comments, is the fact that they're pretending that they don't know exactly what Trump means. I mean, they do that all the time when it comes to Trump speeches. Trump will say something in the full context of what he's saying. He clearly and obviously is not saying what the mainstream liberal media is saying that he's saying. Like, for example, when it comes to his comments about illegal immigrants poisoning the blood of the country, right? I mean, he clearly and obviously in that speech was talking about illegal immigrants, right? Poisoning the blood of his country because of all the criminals that are being let into the country. That's what he's talking about. The mainstream liberal media says, Trump says all immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country. He's Hitler. Again, it's amazing, right? It's incredible how the media tries to spin this, right? And in this situation, this speech that Trump gives, is clear and obvious that Trump is saying, look, black people complain all the time about being wrongfully persecuted, right, for crimes they didn't commit. Okay, is this not what black people complain about all the time? This is exactly what they complain about. And Trump is saying, well, yeah, I mean, I can identify with that because quite literally the system is coming after me for crimes I didn't commit. That's what he's saying. He's not saying that all black people are criminals. They know that, right? In the full context of what he's saying, that's clearly what he's saying, which is, again, about political persecution and unjust criminal justice system. But they ignore that part of it because they don't want to acknowledge the reality that, again, Trump is being politically persecuted for crimes that he actually didn't commit, right? So again, it's just hilarious how that worked. But that being said, despite the fear-mongering from the mainstream liberal media, right, there are some signs of hope that black people are leaving the Democrat Party, okay? And we have the perfect example here featuring what allegedly is a Democrat activist Reverend who apparently is Maxine Waters' nephew, right? And he is endorsing Trump. He seems to be endorsing Carrie Lake as well, too, because Carrie Lake is here in this video. And he's leaving the Democrat Party, so it seems, right? This is betrayal. Now, I tried very hard to find out who this individual is. Unfortunately, I cannot find any information on this guy. So if any of you guys in the comment section know who this guy is, please type it in the comment section. Let me know so I can find more information about this individual. But unfortunately, I cannot find any information about this individual to save my life. But regardless, this guy is saying some pretty powerful things that I think is worth noting. And a lot of you guys tagged me in this video, so I'm going to react to it.
You know, black people used to be Republicans until right after the Great Depression. I think we've ridden this donkey as far as it can take us. Okay? It's dead. I'm ready to get on a great big old African elephant. Right? We have to remember who Joe Biden is. This is a guy who was mentored by Senator Byrd and people like Strom Thurmond, the card-carrying members of the Ku Klux Klan. That's right. So, you know, she represents Republican 2.0. What she's talking about for us is a new emancipation.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? I'm happy that a lot of black people, or some black people, I'm not sure if I can say a lot, I'm happy that some black people are saying, hey, I want to leave the Democrat plantation and come over to the Republican Party. I'm happy for that. But you have to leave your Democrat policies and your woke leanings behind, right? Because if you're going to become a Republican, then you need to agree with our policies. Don't try to become a Republican and then try to make Republicans Democrats, right? It's the same argument that is made about the liberals that leave states like California and they go to red states like Texas and Florida, okay? Don't leave California and then come to Texas and Florida and try to make Texas and Florida blue, right? You're bringing your politics. Same thing when it comes to the black people leaving the Democrat Party. If you're going to come over to the Republican Party, then you have to actually really believe in the policies that are foundational to being a conservative or Republican, right? For example, you need to want to be tough on crime. You don't need to be coming over here talking about reparations, right? Because Republicans definitely aren't going for that. If you come over here and you talk about getting reparations and all that stuff, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. You're going to find yourself politically homeless once again, right? You need to be for strong borders. You need to be for lowering taxes, less regulation, school choice, right? You need to actually believe in some of these Republican policies. Otherwise, there's no reason to come over. I'm just saying, right? Because again, that's kind of what happens a lot of times. You have all these people that come over to the party and then they get disappointed because the party doesn't align with their liberal viewpoints, right? So again, I welcome the switch, but the switch has to also be a switch in your policy positions, right? You can't just switch over and then try to make the Republican Party woke and liberal. No, that's not how this works. I mean, some portions of the Republican Party are already woke and liberal, but I'm just saying, you have to actually really believe in the policies and stuff like that too.
Socially, politically, economically, it's Emancipation 2.0. And we have a real opportunity, not only with her candidacy, but with President Trump, to start again in this country and recognizing where we've been. Look, I'm not telling any of you who are Democrats to rip up your voter registration card. Okay? Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxine, imagine if she was really your auntie. She's really my auntie.
Wow, what a shame. I feel bad for you. Again, it's funny, I couldn't find any information on this guy, but there's a picture of him, and again, you guys can't really see it, but I think that's a Hillary badge there, right? So this guy was stomping for Hillary Clinton, okay? So this is Maxine Waters' nephew, apparently, according to him. Again, I'm not sure if he's joking, but again, that's the problem with a lot of these people. They think that these politicians are their friends and their family members, right? When you run around here calling a politician your friend or your family member, that's the problem. These people aren't your friends. They aren't your family members. They're using you for votes and power, right? A lot of these politicians are stabbing you in the back while smiling in your face. Maxine Waters is one of them, right? So again, I mean, it's pretty powerful. If this guy is actually her nephew, this is pretty crazy that he's betraying her and endorsing Trump. Okay, Maxine Waters must be losing sleep over this.
What I'm saying is this. After all of those years of dealing with failed policies, how many more lives, how much more time, how many more generations are we going to sacrifice at the altar of Democrat politics when they treat us as a political afterthought? An afterthought. It's time for us to make a positive choice in our own best interest and vote for the candidates who are in our own best interest.
Again, so I agree with that, right? And you got to understand conservative policies and solutions are in the best interest of not just black people, but the country as a whole, right? But you can't come over here talking about, hey, we're going to be demanding stuff just for us. No, you need to be demanding things that are best for the country as a whole, right? And I think you really got to understand that a lot of these people, you got to really forget about demanding things based off your race, right? When somebody says, well, what is this person done for black people? That's not the way that you think about it. The way you actually really should be thinking about it is, what has this person done for the interest of the country as a whole, right? What has he done for the American people? Because if America's not doing well, then black people are not going to be doing well, right? If America's not doing well, white people are not going to do well. If America's not doing well, Hispanics aren't going to do well, right? When people come out here and they demand specific policies and handouts just for them, right, based off race, one, that's unconstitutional. Two, it's unrealistic. And it doesn't work like that. That's not how politics works. Now, again, you can have, certain policies and stuff for certain, demographics. Like, for example, when you talk about helping out the poor, right? Policies that are going to be good for people who are at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. Okay, that makes sense. And some of these policies may disproportionately benefit black folks, right? Some of them may disproportionately benefit white people, whatever, right? But again, the question has to be asked, okay, does it benefit the country as a whole? Does it make the country better? Does it help out everybody? Okay? That's what you have to ask when you're trying to evaluate certain policies. Because the thinking of, well, what are you doing just for my group of people is how black folks got in this position in the first place, right? When you talk about the soft on crime policies, well, that is what Democrats are doing for black folks, right? Because that's their rationale for having these, no bail policies and things like that being soft on crime, because apparently throwing black people in jail is racist. So their form of reparations is not locking black people up. And they're doing that to help black people, but in the end, it actually really hurts black people, right? But that policy overall is bad for the country. So it should be something that black people just don't support because it's bad for the country, right? It's really that simple. But again, that's not the way that people think. You have to change your thinking. You have to think about what is good overall for the country and then vote like that, right? Because you're not going to get a handout just based off your race. Now, again, you may have policies that are done based off socioeconomic status, based off of, geographical location, maybe rural versus urban, whatever. That's fine. No big deal. But based off racial lines, no, this is what we had the civil rights movement for, right? We're supposed to be moving past that. And I think that's what people really got to understand.
And if they are Republicans, then so be it. When white America, working class, and black America, working class, decides to work together, there's no demographic that can stop us. What other sign from God do you need than to see the predominantly white Republican Party moaning, groaning with us about the likes of the FBI and the CIA? We're talking about God's timing, right? Doesn't he have a way of making strange bedfellows? He has a way of drawing us together in perilous times to stand together, work together, fight together, vote together, lead this country together. Because those people who are inclined to its destruction are our common enemy. Our common enemy.
Yeah, so there's not much I can really disagree with that guy said. I think that he's pretty spot on. Welcome aboard, right? Leave your woke politics in the Democrat Party, okay? I hope that he told Maxine Waters, okay? I think that you should tell your aunt, let her know that you've changed, right? But, hey, I would love to see more individuals like this. But again, before every election, there's always this hype about black people not vote for Democrats anymore. And I'm always disappointed. So we'll see, right? We'll see what will happen, right? We'll see. I'm hoping and praying that at the very least 30% of black folks, 20, right? Let me set my expectations a little bit lower. 20% of black people will vote Republican. But if not, I don't think that there's any hope, right? If 20% of black people don't vote Republican this election, it ain't never happening again. Black people are permanently gonna be a part of the Democrat Party, and there's nothing that can be done about it. But we'll see, right? I'm hoping for 20%. But hey, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.